Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A vehicle that can fly. Shrewdness is demonstrated by being skilled in deception. People who perform a particular kind of skilled work. He represented the craft of brewers. Skill in an occupation or trade. The skilled practice of a practical occupation. A vehicle designed for navigation in or on water or air or through outer space. Make by hand and with much skill. The artisan crafted a complicated tool. A non-buoyant aircraft that requires a source of power to hold it aloft and to propel it. An unidentified, and possibly enemy, aircraft. An evil spirit. Golf. A score of 1 stroke over par on a hole. To shoot in 1 stroke over par. An unidentified, and possibly enemy, aircraft. An evil spirit. An unmanned aircraft that is a self-contained bomb. An unidentified, and possibly enemy, aircraft. An evil spirit. An aircraft designed in accordance with technology that makes detection by radar difficult. Aircraft supported by its own buoyancy. The internal supporting structure that gives an artifact its shape. A small recess opening off a larger room. Bark with prolonged noises, of dogs. An indentation of a shoreline larger than a cove but smaller than a gulf. Small Mediterranean evergreen tree with small blackish berries and glossy aromatic leaves used for flavoring in cooking. Also used by ancient Greeks to crown victors. A compartment in an aircraft used for some specific purpose. He opened the bomb bay. A compartment on a ship between decks, often used as a hospital. They put him in the sick bay. A horse of a moderate reddish-brown color. The sound of a hound on the scent. Used of animals, especially a horse, of a moderate reddish-brown color. Utter in deep prolonged tones. A system of assumptions and standards that sanction behavior and give it meaning. Formulate in a particular style or language. Make up plans or basic details for. Frame a policy. Construct by fitting or uniting parts together. Baseball. One of 9 divisions of play during which each team has a turn at bat. The hard structure, bones and cartilages, that provides a frame for the body of an animal. Take or catch as if in a snare or trap. The innocent man was framed by the police. Enclose in or as if in a frame. Frame a picture. A framework that supports and protects a picture or a mirror. The frame enhances but is not itself the subject of attention. The internal supporting structure that gives an artifact its shape. Alternative names for the body of a human being. A structure supporting or containing something. An application that divides the user's display into 2 or more windows that can be scrolled independently. A single drawing in a comic strip. A single one of a series of still transparent pictures forming a cinema, television or video film. Enclose in a frame, as of a picture. One of the 10 divisions into which bowling is divided. The framework for a pair of eyeglasses. Equipment in a motor vehicle or aircraft that delivers fuel to the engine. A small house built of wood, usually in a wooded area. Confined to a small space, such as a cabin. Small room on a ship or boat where people sleep. The enclosed compartment of an aircraft or spacecraft where passengers are carried. A pit for cockfights. Compartment where the pilot sits while flying the aircraft. Seat where the driver sits while driving a racing car. Catch the scent of. Get wind of. The dog nosed out the drugs. Rub noses. Search or inquire in a meddlesome way. A projecting spout from which a fluid is discharged. The organ of smell and entrance to the respiratory tract, the prominent part of the face of man or other mammals. He has a cold in the nose. Advance the forward part of with caution. She nosed the car into the left lane. A front that resembles a human nose, especially the front of an aircraft. The nose of the rocket heated up on re-entry. A natural skill. He has a nose for good deals. A small distance. My horse lost the race by a nose. A symbol of inquisitiveness. Keep your nose out of it. Defeat by a narrow margin. Push or move with the nose. The front or forward projection of a tool or weapon. He ducked under the nose of the gun. The sense of smell, especially in animals. The hound has a good nose. The engine that powers an aircraft. The internal supporting structure that gives an artifact its shape. A scandal that is kept secret. There must be a skeleton somewhere in that family's closet. The hard structure, bones and cartilages, that provides a frame for the body of an animal. The internal supporting structure that gives an artifact its shape. The building has a steel skeleton. Something reduced to its minimal form. The battalion was a mere skeleton of its former self. A member of any of several British or American groups consisting predominantly of young people who shave their heads. Some engage in white supremacist and anti-immigrant activities, and this leads to the perception that all skinheads are racist and violent. Climb awkwardly, as if by scrambling. Remove the bark of a tree. The rind of a fruit or vegetable. Strip the skin off. A natural protective body covering and sight of the sense of touch. Your skin is the largest organ of your body. Body covering of a living animal. Bruise, cut, or injure the skin or the surface of. The boy skinned his knee when he fell. A person whose head is bald or shaved. A bag serving as a container for liquids. It is made from the hide of an animal. An outer surface, usually thin. The skin of an airplane. A person's skin regarded as their life. He tried to save his skin. Moving very fast. Fleet of foot. Move along rapidly and lightly, skim or dart. Disappear gradually. A group of steamships operating together under the same ownership. A group of warships organized as a tactical unit. Group of aircraft operating together under the same ownership. Group of motor vehicles operating together under the same ownership. Of an aircraft, having swept-back wings. A swept-wing aircraft. Someone who is licensed to operate an aircraft in flight. Darkness resulting from the extinction of lights, as in a city invisible to enemy aircraft. An emergency landing under circumstances where a normal landing is impossible, usually damaging the aircraft. The dispersion of fungicides or insecticides or fertilizer on growing crops, often from a low-flying aircraft. The action of destabilizing. Making something less stable, especially of a government or country or economy. An event that causes a loss of equilibrium, as of a ship or aircraft. Darkness resulting from the extinction of lights, as in a city invisible to enemy aircraft. The deviation, by a vessel or aircraft, from its intended course due to drifting. A flight at a low altitude, usually of military aircraft, over spectators on the ground. A flight at a low altitude, usually of military aircraft, over spectators on the ground. Bridge formed by the upper level of a crossing of two highways at different levels.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.